All right, guys, let's talk about the what do we call it? The Carmelo Anthony case. Um, so they recently, so they recently uh, charged them as an adult, right, with the capital uh, murder as a charge, um, capital crime, and so um, yeah. Um, I mean, why would they do that, right? So the state is, you know, I mean, obviously they set a bail amount low. I mean, usually that happens if the lawyer asks for it because there's no warrant or concerns that the person is a risk at um, leaving the country or anything like that or running away, right? Um, And then, I mean, I see a lot of people saying they're raising money when, everyone knows or everyone seems to have this, this, uh, feeling of like disgust or whatever, right? On how two kids, you know, can, you know, hurt each other in that way, right? But I mean, when there's emotions involved, you know what I mean? Whether or not, um, people make good choices or bad choices. I mean, technically, um, speaking, what do you call it? Carmelo Anthony didn't have to use a knife. If he was, you know, aggravated enough, he can probably just, you know, didn't have to use a knife, right? A hand is as lethal as a knife. So, um, yeah, so I don't think, you know, I mean, the knife, yeah, plays a role in the death of the person. Not to say that, Austin Metcalf couldn't, you know, defend himself better if the guy wasn't using a knife or whatnot, right? All I'm saying is that, yeah, you know, they do have to get to the bottom, the motive, not the motive, but like um the bottom of it, right? Like the not the bottom, but like the overall story. You know what I mean? What happened, right? Which is, so he does have a chance, you know what I mean, like to explain himself because what do you really need, right? You need the jury to have a doubt, you know what I mean? It has to be unanimous decision, right? If you raise an eyebrow, that's all you really need. You know what I mean? So he does have a chance. And so, I'm not saying, I'm not speaking, like I think a lot of people speak as if they know what a guilty person looks like. You know what I mean? Um, like and for people to make it a race thing, I don't know, man. Like, as far as, oh, okay, the black sympathetic, that's why they raise a lot of money, or the whites is a good kid, why did he bring the knife to attract me or whatnot, right? Bro, have you seen a fight? A fair fight? It's as bad as someone that doesn't, that's not a fair fight, right? It can be as bad, right? And trust me, I know, right? Like, if someone has some self defense classes, their hands are as deadly as a knife. It's not even worse. You know what I mean? You can break a neck. You know what I mean? Um, you can punch someone, they can hit the wall with their head, right? You can hit someone in the temple hard enough, and they can die. You can collapse someone's throat by just punching them in the neck. You know what I mean? Like, it's. I think, yeah, a knife is more lethal, of course, right? But and then you see stories where, like, like people lived after being shot. Like, like 50 cents, right? I got shot in the face 9 times and I'm still alive. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Mm, People are. I don't want to speak on destiny or predestiny or anything like that, right? But it's unfortunate that Austin Metcalf died, right? And trust me, I'm no sympathizer for for race or anything like that, right? But all I'm saying is, what's the story? You know what I mean? What's the reason why, right? Now, if they can find enough reason why, okay, and then when it comes to court and stuff, there's gonna be character building, right? You know, the prosecutor is gonna build the character of Camelo Anthony to be an ugly person, right? The defendant is gonna try to build the character of him as a good kid, right? The left and the right wing podcasters, likewise, they're gonna do the same thing. I've already seen it, right? But all I'm saying is, what's the bottom line? What's the real story? You know what I mean? Let's hear from the kid's mouth. You know what I mean? Was he on drugs? Was he on antidepressants? Right? Was he a danger to himself? Right? That's what we need to find out. And others, you know what I mean? Because obviously, they've already done studies and cases where if the kid was depressed on antidepressant drugs, that's it right there. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't in his right mind. You know what I mean? You could plead another way as well if that was the case, right? Insanity or whatnot. So just let's wait until we get all the facts. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Just just you gotta think about it, man. Think about process the information, right? Again, it's your boy Rosellular. I'm trying to give people point of views so they can make good choices in life. But anyway, have a good day. Go ahead and tap that follow, tap that subscribe. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk.